Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first inaugural special Zoom training we're doing today. Men's locker room, aggressive, hard hitting conversations, specifically with the men. Very different this time because we've got the women on the line as well. And this is very, very intentional. Normally, locker room, those of you who maybe you're not familiar with that term, it's quite much an American term. The locker room, what is said in the locker room, no holds bars. This is not the place to be soft. So if you're easily offended, what I'd recommend you to do, if you look um, near the bottom right of the screen, it will say leave. And it's a red button. You click that and you'll be safe because this is going to be a very aggressive call because we're talking about aggressive subjects. Locker room, meaning anything can be said. This is the changing room. This is where stuff happens. And I'm not alone on this call. I'm honored to present to the line and get him to introduce himself. I'm first going to, introduce myself, and then I'm going to introduce my very, very special guest, which I'm really excited to introduce to you. So, for myself, my name's David Acosta, three-star director, six-figure income earner here in London, England. Been involved in Planet Marketing since the 19th of January 2016. I'm very, very proud of this business, proud of what it's done for me and my family's life. And I want this gentleman to introduce himself. He is my brother from across the pond, all the way out there in the United States. So I'm not gonna steal his thunder. I'm gonna let him, introduce himself and his accolades. But he's also, a six-figure income earning three-star director in our company. So, Mr. Jay Stewart, I'm gonna pass over to you to introduce yourself to all these.
Absolutely appreciate it, brother. Listen, man, real simple for me. Three-star founding director, and the best decision I ever made in my life. Period. The end. Right. It really, really is changed my life for the rest of my life. Been here since day one. Privilege, and you're a founding director as well, David. Right. And so, really, really excited to be a part of launching on both sides of the pond. And that's it in a nutshell. Three-star founding director, six-figure earner. And man, ready to rock and roll, ready to get into this, man. Super excited that we got a chance to connect at the last event, and privileged and honored for you to invite me to this conversation. When we talked about it at that event, man, it kind of happened in an instant, and I'm super excited to get into it.
Love that. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna call out these
Yep.
topics that we're gonna be going over. Um, Now, we've never done anything like this before. Normally when it's a locker room, it's Mr. Bradley doing a men's
Mm-hmm.
locker room at convention. And I mean, how would you sum up those locker rooms? Because we want to set the tone. People need
Yeah.
to know that, I mean, the ladies, I know if you've been to convention, I can see a few people on the line who've been to convention. I can see Pascalina, I can see Ruth, there's a few other people. And I don't know what goes on, Tracy Wright, I don't know what goes on in the ladies' locker room for obvious reasons. I know sometimes us men, we can hear you guys shouting through the walls, going crazy, but we know what goes on in the men's locker room.
Mhm.
So Jay, just quickly, how would you describe men's locker room with our millionaire mentor, our multi-millionaire mentor, Mr. Donald Bradley? How would you describe it? Like, what's it like?
You know, the word that comes in my mind, David, is intense, right? It's really, really super intense.
Mm,
When you come in there, you're wide awake. Ain't nobody napping, ain't nobody sleeping. Everybody's focused, and you can feel yourself growing. You're going to grow or you're going to leave, right? You're going to grow, you're going to leave. Intense, the other word that I would use, David, and I know you probably would agree, is it can be highly uncomfortable
mm,
for you, right? And so
yeah,
it's not a place of comfort
mm,
inside of that room because your core beliefs, you're being challenged. You have to look at yourself in the mirror in those situations, and it's straight talk, right? The
mm,
pleasantries are kind of done away with, right? We know when we leave there, we're still going to hug, we're still going to be brothers, we're still going to be business partners.
mm.
But inside of the locker room, right, we have the permission to be transparent. We have the permission to get it tough and give it tough. And that's what that environment is like. It's a really intense environment, and it can be highly uncomfortable, but growth is uncomfortable. So it's a growth environment as well.
Yeah, I mean, you use the word uncomfortable. I might use the word scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Scary.
seriously.
First thing is getting there on time. Donald
Mm-hmm.
Bradley's bodyguard, this he doesn't play, right? That's a scary dude, and he's standing by the door, and specifically 1 minute to 8 or whatever the time is, the door's closing. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
first thing. setting the tone. If you're late, you're not coming in, you
Yep.
know. And if you're the last to walk in the room, we go and look at you. So just setting the tone, even from the punctuality, from what you're wearing. I mean, you can get called
Hmm.
out for coming in there wearing something that doesn't look like you belong there, right? So
Hmm.
it's intense, like you said, it's scary because Mr. Bradley is a very serious gentleman.
Yeah.
When we're not in locker room, he likes to chop it up and play and have fun, but we are in Planet Marketing for one specific reason, and it's to change our families' lives. And a lot of people play with this business, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics. A lot of people play with this business, but we live in a world where it's not too funny. Some real life situations happening for all of us. Even if you're already successful financially, when you look at what countries are doing, whether you can, I'm already making 1 million a year. Well, once you tax that, life happens, and this is not play anymore. It's not play. I think, once you're an adult, and I know everybody on this Zoom is over the age of 18, right? So you're
Hmm.
an adult, and we're not doing play. So we're gonna dive in on, I think we've got about six very, very strong topics, and we're gonna address them one by one. I'm gonna I'm going to read them out actually, the different topics. We're going to be talking about, is this a woman's business? We're going to be talking about, where are all the men? We're going to be talking about, specifically as a man, what can this business do for you? We're going to be talking about, how do you lead a man? We're going to be talking about ego over equity. We're going to be talking about, and this is from yourself, Jay. This is
Hmm.
powerful. I love this one. Are you him? Are you him? Him. HIM stands for H, the hero, I, the inspiration, M, the master of your family's destiny. Are you him? And then we're going to have an open Q&A. So as we're going through, some of you might be women who are trying to prospect men who may be facing some hurdles because of the gender gap, right? And you may have not had a successful male upline to ask the questions, why am I struggling with this or this or this? How do I do this? And obviously for the men, please have some questions because we're going to cover as much as we can, um, going deep, specifically focusing on the men. Um, and I keep it real. Some of you would have seen the video that me and Jay we filmed in Atlanta, and
Hmm.
I didn't plan to do that. I didn't, make sure there was a bunch of ladies over there and but I got the camera out and I was like, where's the men? And I filmed outside the hotel window to another hotel building where a lot of our members were having, some food and drinks after the big event. And I said, over there's ladies. I turned around, over there's ladies, over there's ladies. And it was like telling, and it wasn't planned and prepped. I just made an assumption that if I film around here, I'm going to see mostly ladies. And surprise, surprise, if you've seen the video, you'll see that it wasn't staged. There's a bunch of people just scattered around. It was majority, like 70 to 80% ladies. I really struggle when I see that men are not seeing this business. I want you to talk on that first. The topic of, is this
Hmm.
a woman's business? What's going on? Like, is this a
Yeah.
woman? Okay.
David, I love that. I love that topic. The short answer is no, right? And the short answer is no. I got several answers to that. The short answer is no. It's not a woman's business. My second answer is, if you make it that, it will be. You know what I mean? If you allow it to be, it will be. And that's taking nothing away from. I had this in my notes, David, as I was kind of gathering my thoughts for today's call. Man, taking nothing away from the amazing queens of all different backgrounds, races, different continents that are literally putting the company on their back, right? It's locker room. So
Mm.
if y'all don't get mad at David for the things that I say, don't get mad at David for the things that we vice versa, right? So this is my thoughts, right? In locker room, y'all give us permission to be transparent and to be really direct. Man, putting the company on their back, right? And so when you really think about it, is it a woman's business? Absolutely not. But women dominate. Women dominate the industry. Women dominate Planet Marketing right now.
Mm.
And that's not a bad thing. That's an amazing thing. And all we're saying today, just overall, is like, we're going to get to the topics there. I don't mean to jump ahead, but man, it's not a woman's game, but it will be if we let it. If the gentlemen don't step up, and if the gentlemen don't aren't aware that it's not a woman's business, right? And because when we talk about travel booking, and David, I would love to get your thoughts on this. What is it like in the UK? But here in the United States, I know that when sometimes guys, when they hear about travel, becoming a travel agent, they immediately associate that with,
Yeah.
a female sitting behind a desk with a headset on and booking travel, right? And so they check out immediately. And so it's our job to inform them that that's one portion of the business, and that's not even that is not a female business, right? It's not a gender specific business. There are men that are killing it booking travel, right? And it can look totally different from what a lot of times we have as men pictured in our minds of a traditional travel agent from way back in the day or whatever. It's just it doesn't compute. And so it's my answers are no, it's not a woman's business. It can be if you let it, right? And we want to celebrate the people that are absolutely carrying it. But at the end of the day, it's our job to inform the men that it is absolutely a place for you, not only to be involved, but to kill it, to murder it, and I'm saying that in a good way, to really take your business to the next level and do whatever it is you want for your family. So, no, definitely not a woman's business. Dave. What's your thoughts?
I mean, the first thing I'm going to say, because there may be some men on this line. This is locker room. I was going to not say it, but I'm going to say it. There may be some men on this line who are ITA only. And if you are, I'm talking to you, you have feminized your business.
Wow.
And that's on you. You have feminized your business. And we're not saying being a travel agent is a female thing to do, but it's not masculine to have the opportunity to change your children's life and to walk away from that, especially when that thing costs $20, £15. That's not masculine. We're not saying it's feminine. We're saying it's just not masculine. Now, again, we're going to define that masculine word. I'm old school. So I know in this world, there's lots of, different things going on. I don't care about all of that. Again, this is locker room. And if you're offended, there's a red button, press it twice, and you'll be fine. There'll be no issue. Me, I'm masculine and I'm old school and I'm alpha, meaning I am a protector and a provider. So we've got to define why we're specifically talking to the men. Because if you don't understand your role as a man, whether you have a girlfriend, whether you have a wife, whether you have children, whether you don't, but as a man, protecting and providing, to me, and I'm sure to yourself, Jay, is important.
Yeah.
I feel more like a man being able to protect and to provide for myself first and my loved ones, my family, people I care about who may not be my family. So this business, of course, has two sides. We've got Planet Marketing, we've got IntelliTravel. There's nothing feminine or non-masculine about being a travel agent because one of our people just made $17,000 in a day booking Super Bowl for the guys. Right? I'm rolling to the Super Bowl anyway. Everybody, all the guys are rolling to the Super Bowl anyway. We're gonna get our hats, we're gonna wear our t-shirts, we're gonna go to the game, but you guys didn't make $17,000 for the game that we're going to anyway. This guy did. That's masculine. That $17,000 sets up him and his girlfriend and the two kids very nice for the next few months. They can do some really cool things based on him being a masculine man, providing and protecting his family. And let's really understand providing and protecting. We're not talking about how good you can fight because, that's for the streets. But in the real world, providing and protecting, it only really comes down to the money. The bailiff harassing, your daughter trying to take the car is because of a lack of finances. The other man, right? The other man that dictates the happiness of your woman, who is her boss, right? Is because of a lack of finances. I saw a post, and again, we're not trying to make it super materialistic, but if you're on this call, if you're in Planet Marketing in the early stages, you should be looking at 6 figures minimum. At some point, you could be a rep, you could be a bronze on this line right now. You should be looking at 6 figures minimum. You're too early. Mr. Bradley said it to me when I met him. You're too young to just become a millionaire. And if you're in Planet Marketing right now, we are about to have our 10-year anniversary. We're too early for you to just make small money. You're here at the beginning of a legacy company. So providing and protecting, making money, it should be something on your mind to provide and protect. In this day and age, in the US, in the Caribbean, in the UK, anywhere, if you
Hmm.
don't have money or don't have enough money, you and your family will find yourself in difficult situations that you can't help yourself about. Where someone else, another man or another woman, is in control of your happiness, your freedom, the food that you eat, the quality of the life that you live, the quality of the car that you drive, your daughter driving around in the car that you know is not safe, your son going into a school that you know is full of the worst, most dangerous people because that school is in a location which is not safe. We'll call it the hood, right?
Hmm.
Your husband or your wife, goes to a job where they're getting bullied, abused, disrespected, overworked, underpaid, and it's just down to a lack of finances. Because for me, again, I take pride that I know I can retire my wife. My wife, whatever career she has, whatever job she's doing, if she wants to stop working, I can say, baby girl, don't even hand in your resignation. You don't need to. Just go spa break, go to a spa. Let them send the letters, let them do what they want to do. Fire your boss. Fire your boss on Monday, fire your boss by text, send a tweet, like do what you need to do, right? Because I've got you. And that makes me feel proud. And as men,
Hmm.
let's get back that word proud. Let's become
Hmm.
proud. Let's get proud of providing and protecting our loved ones, the people we care about. This is not a woman's business. It's not a man's business. This is a business. And it's a very serious business that can pay some very serious numbers to your family, to your family's family, to your family when you're not even alive anymore. That is a very, very serious business. And again, I never say I'm a travel agent. I say I'm a travel business owner. And sometimes people, women especially, when you're prospecting men, you say, "Hey, come and be a travel agent." They're like, "Psh,
Hmm.
that's for ladies."
Hmm.
No, come and
Hmm.
become a CEO of a six, seven, or eight-figure travel business, a global empire, an international business that can make high six and high seven figures in the travel industry, the largest, most lucrative, sexy industry in the world. That's what I'm a part of. That's what I own. I don't just book travel. I own a travel business, a multi-million dollar travel business. Now that sounds masculine. So when you're trying to recruit a man, you don't want to be saying, "Hey, come and become a travel agent. Hey, come and partner with the largest, most attractive industry in the world. Come and become an owner of an industry which makes a lot of millionaires." And one of the things, I tell my wife to say to the men when she's prospecting, I'm looking to connect with ambitious guys who are serious about providing for their families. Now, if that male prospect says, "Oh, that's not me," wow, that's disappointing for you. I'm looking
Hmm.
to connect with men who are serious about providing for their families and making some serious money. Now, you can only say yes, you're interested. If you say no, I'm looking off the call myself because wow, that's embarrassing. So you have no interest in providing and protecting and making income for your family. Well, then this conversation needs to be cut short because there's nothing we need to talk about, right? We're not talking about dating. I'm married, right? So we only talk about one thing. Are you going to partner with me and we're going to make some serious money together? That's masculine. Other than that, wish you all the best. So is this a woman's business? My answer again, a resounding no. Um,
Hmm.
now we're going to go on to the next question. Where are all the men? And I guess, Jay, I'll pass this one to you. Like, I mean, where are all the men? There must be a reason. And I guess I understand the industry, but hair and
Hmm.
planet marketing, um,
Hmm.
there must be something. And we didn't even rehearse our notes. We just gave
No. Yeah.
this is off the
Yeah.
top of the head. Just what we
Yeah.
think and feel about what we've seen over the last 9 odd years in Planet.
Yeah. Where are the men? That's the out of the topics that we had, that was the enigma. That's the question, right? And we didn't talk about it. And I really don't have an answer. If I'm being really transparent, where are they? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. And here's what I'll tell you what I think. And what I think is that they've done what we just talked about, right? They've written the business off as something that's feminine, and those that were here and left have looked at what's happened inside of the company and figured that, right, they checked out. They've said, you know what, okay, they're really killing it. Not a lot of us at the top killing it, right? So it may not be my thing. So I think mentally, They've just made a decision that this is not their thing, right? So it's like one topic is leading right into the other. Where all the men, they're thinking that it's a woman's business, right? At the end of the day, and honestly, that's where what I believe. The other thing, David, you talked about, man, so much that I wanted to touch on. It was so good. This is the vehicle that allows you to become that provider, that protector. I'm so glad you brought that up. I had that in my notes as well. And I know we're going to keep moving. But for all of the guys that are on here, that you are the head of household, right? Or you're leading a family, man, this is the vehicle. This allows you to be that guy, right? It really, really does. And the income is on the table, but it's going to take you really realizing that this can do that. You got to believe that it's the vehicle for you. So you got to get past that first topic and get that out of your head, David. And I'm so glad you made that number one, right? You did this on your own with the topic and the arrangement, but it's number one because that's the mental hurdle that I think a lot of men have is that my wife. Some people even say that. They say, you know what, my wife can do. And it might be my wife may be interested, but we're talking about 6, 7 figures, right? There's nothing feminine about Mr. Bradley. There's nothing feminine about Orlando Moore, right? Nothing feminine about a Shedrick White. Nothing feminine about a David DaCosta, right? So it's definitely, you got to get that out of the way. And to answer your question, David, where are all the men? I think they've made that assumption that it is for women and they don't take it seriously and they miss the thing that they're desperately looking for. They're desperately looking for. And what you just gave was a major nugget, right? I hope my people that are on, I hope y'all caught that, right? The way what you tell your wife to, what you ask her to say when she's speaking to guys, major nugget, getting directly to the point, touching that hot button. Like I know some of the women on here probably want to know, like, what do I say? Just gave it to you. It spoke straight to that provider, that protector. You went straight to the point. And if it's that person, they're going to gravitate towards that. They're going to open up to that. So I just wanted to go back and say that was a major nugget. But what's your thoughts, David? Where are the men in your opinion?
I mean, I just gave you that nugget. You just gave me something because you said, and it's so, so common. Oh, this might be something for my wife. Oh, let me share. It might be more for her. Oh, I think my wife will be interested in this. Moving forward, because I've heard it probably 17,000 times, but moving forward, when the next guy tells me, if I have a close relationship with him, and the guy tells me, oh, this might be something more for my wife, I'm gonna say, oh, okay, no problem. Let me speak to her if she's the one who's the provider for the family. Because when I sent you the video, did you not see the comp plan? Did you not see what the Matrix taps out with on level 9? Did you not see the new 10-star bonus in the director bonus? Did you not see that? Because yes, it may not happen overnight, but you plan to work your job for 20 more years, right? You didn't plan to work your job 2 years and stop. You plan to be in your job for at least 10, 20 years. So over 10, 20 years, are you going to make 10-star director type income? Probably not. But 10, 20 years over here, you could potentially be a 10-star director, which means your children will never want or need anything. So that's something I'm going to add to my vocab when a guy tells me this might be something for my wife. Okay, sounds like she's the breadwinner of the family. Sounds like she's the provider of the family. And I hope it hurts your feelings because that's what I'm trying to do, hurt your feelings, respectfully, because I want, as men, I want to elevate you. I want to make sure that your wife looks to you like the provider, that your girlfriend looks to you like the provider and protector of the household. And again, me and you, Jay, we're old school. Some people say, oh, we're 50-50. No, God has appointed you to lead the house. And leadership, I always, ladies, when you're dating, just because a man is 46 years old doesn't mean he's a man. There's such thing as old boys. Just because you are over the age of 40 or over the age of 30 doesn't qualify you to be a man. You see, you might be male, but you may not be a man. When you say the word man, there's certain things that go along with being a man, right? You can still be a boy at the age of 50 and 60, right? So again, if you're old school like us, providing and protecting, so I'm going to do a little exercise. We're talking about where are the men? This locker room said men's locker room. We shared it with your team, my team, and a bunch of people hit me up on the DMs trying to get on because it sounds like a lot of people want this information. We're definitely going to do a part 2. I'm going to do a little exercise, and I'm just going to say male. I'm just going to say man, woman by all the people that are on this Zoom link. Now, anyone that's got a certain name that I can't tell which one it is, I'm just going to assume it's a man, right? So I'm going to give the men the favor. So if I see Zoom, if I see iPhone, I'm just going to assume it's a man. Let me go through the Zoom right now and let's see how many men, how many women. So I'm gonna start from the bottom up. Woman, 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 man, woman, 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 man, woman, 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 man, woman, 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 man, iPad, man, Gary, man, man, woman, man, woman, man, 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 woman, man, woman, 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 man, woman, man. I could keep going on. Else was sounding, at least 70-30 or, 60-40. Even on the men's locker room, we're outnumbered by the women, right?
Yeah.
If Mr. Bradley was in this call, he'll be disgusted with us, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're saying, where are all the men? And I think, we really already discussed it, in the
Yeah.
topic. Is this a woman's business? Where
Yeah.
are all the men? They're
I got
missing.
one more thing, David.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, I just wanted to jump in real quick, David. Is this on my heart? Y'all, please write this down in your notes. If you try to bait and switch, this is the takeaway that I'm leaving with, David, which I think is really important because we're going to grow the number of men. And yes, Mr. Bradley he probably would have got off the Zoom, honestly, right? He probably would have got off the Zoom because his locker room, because none of the cameras are on, except for the soldiers that are at the top. Probably would have got off the Zoom for that, right? So we're talking about being in men's locker room, like it's accountability. It's like you showing up, are you here or you doing something else? You know what I mean? If it's men's locker room, right? So that would have been first. But second, right, that part. So my thing, the takeaway though, is if you bait and switch, if you lead with travel, you're gonna miss every man that you go after. Seriously, right? If you lead with travel. So I hope you guys got that. And a lot of times we do it, right? Sometimes I do it. Right? I'm just being transparent. Sometimes I do. I'll put and I do it inadvertently. I'll put a travel post out or, and I know people are going to hit me up about, man, I'm doing a room review or whatever. And they're thinking, okay, I want to do exactly that. And it's not really talking about the other side of the business. And my inbox is lit up with, females without, and we love the female, all the ladies love you, right? Killing it, queens, all that. But so you gotta get that. I hope y'all got that takeaway that if you lead with that, here's the other thing that I would say to that, David. First of all, that nugget again, fire, right? But this is the other thing I would say. Go straight through the front door when you're talking to a man. When Mr. Shedrick White taught me that over the years, he's like, man, whenever you got an issue or you're thinking about something that's in the back of your mind, go straight through the front door. The other way we say it in the US is get the elephant out of the room. And so if you're talking to a guy, why not say, hey, listen, please don't make the mistake of looking at this as a female business. Right? Just go straight through the front door. Straight through the front door. Right? Like, listen, do me a huge favor. I know a lot of guys that take a look at this and they missed it. They missed the opportunity to have a 6 and 7 figure income because they look at it as the female business. Please don't make that mistake. Take a serious look at it. Right? Money doesn't have a gender. So I just wanted to add that, David, before we moved on. Really, really important.
I'm making that note, man. And again, Shedrick, big homie,
yes.
he's nuggets on me over the last 9 years, but that's a good one. Just getting the elephant out of the room straight away. So we're gonna move on, because we could be on here for hours because there's so much to unpack. But specifically as a man, what can this business do for you? I'm gonna just very quickly touch on just off the top of my head. The first thing is, it doesn't matter who you are. You might be black, white, whatever ethnicity. You might have grown up, rich, poor. Majority of us on the line, I know most of you, we come from humble beginnings. We come from poverty, right? We come from a place where we didn't have the extra resources to invest into businesses and to do certain things to put us in a better situation, right? I come from very, very humble, poor beginnings. So specifically as a man, what can this business do for you? The first thing I'm going to say is $199.90, if I need to add that. £156. What it can do for you is give you a business that you can actually afford. That's the first. As a man, there's nothing worse than not being able to afford something that you want, that you need. Whether that's the rent, the mortgage, the food for the babies, food for your wife, a Valentine's Day gift, whatever it is, when you as a man can't afford something. And I've been, Jay, I don't know about you, but I've been there. I've been on dates where the menus come and I've made a wrong decision, not calculating what's in my account before inviting someone out and the menu's there. And I know there's nothing on this menu I can afford. I can't afford a starter or a popsicle. I'm in trouble. Now I'm checking the toilet
Yeah.
bathroom to see if there's a window big enough for me to fit through, because I know this is going to end badly for me. I'm not very good at washing the dishes, right? So
Right.
as a man, when you're in a place where you cannot afford something, it's not a good feeling. So specifically, as
Mm-hmm.
a man, as a provider, someone who wants to provide, the number one thing this business can do for you is give you an opportunity to change everything about your life, and you can actually afford this business. So the starting point, the monthly overhead, the joining cost of this business puts you in a position where you can at least say yes.
Yeah.
Because we're doing some huge property portfolio investment in Atlanta or here in London, and they say, okay, you need to put down, $39,000 US or 39,000 pounds, sterling, to get started in this property portfolio. 99% of the people I know out the game. They can't do nothing with that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the second thing is residual income. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing more sexy than residual income. Me and my wife were out today, and we on a Monday, 2 p.m. went to a jewelry shop. Not to flex, but I lost my wedding ring. What I'm wearing right now, Jay, this is an
Mm-hmm.
imitation wedding ring. Just some, my
Okay.
wife knows I'm still married, right?
Right.
This is we got this. We was in Orlando for one of the big events. This is uh about $40. It's like
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
pounds. It's
Right.
just to put on my finger because we was going to one of the big events, and she obviously we're newly married, and she was like, "Oh, people are going to be looking at your finger, and we just got married, and you got no rings." I was like, "Okay, let's just go get something just to put on there for now." But we was at
Right.
the jewelry shop today, redesigning a brand new wedding band for me. Thousands of
Nice.
dollars, beautiful, shiny, and I'm just thinking to myself, we're just walking through London, and it's a Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
A-
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we're both able to say we're retired or we don't have a job, we don't need to work, we can just go where we want, do what we want, is because of the work that I did when not this wedding ring, but this business ring, which
Mm-hmm.
you guys can see, 2000, it's a bit dirty, it's old school, right?
Mm-hmm.
2017. That
Mm-hmm.
was the date where six figures came into my household, which today, 2025, is the reason why me and my wife can walk around London on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically as a man, what can this business do for you? Residual income. Again, my personal example recently, I started making six figures in 2017, and that, let's just call it hitting six figures on the dot, 8,333 US dollars. Let's call it seven thousand pounds monthly. That income from 2017 has followed me to 2024, where I was able to pay for three weddings: my legal wedding, my destination wedding in Santorini, my African traditional wedding in London, three honeymoons, a beautiful stay in Santorini after the wedding, a cruise around the Bahamas, and 6 nights. Um, Five-figure hotel cost in the Maldives. All of that was paid for by 2016 to 2017 work. It was the matrix, it was the director bonuses, which have paid for three weddings, three honeymoons for me and my beautiful bride. Today, the work was done a long time ago. So as a man, I can put in the work. So some men who do you know, the dating guru stuff, teach you how to fix yourself up so you can get a good woman. Some of them will say, look, stay single. If you are broke, can I say broke? I can say broke, yeah, with locker room. If you are
Yeah.
broke, if you're not in a good situation, stay single, hit the gym, get in shape, you know, make yourself look good, get a good suit, and build your money up so that you can go out into the dating pool and have a bit more confidence. Because with 100,000 in your account, you will talk to women a bit differently. You'll
Mm-hmm.
approach things a bit differently. So as a man, to be able to have residual passive income from a tiny investment, huge return is sexy. It's
Mm-hmm.
powerful. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
So Jay, I want to pass over to you on that
Yeah.
specifically.
Mm.
In this business do for you?
Man, David, you took me down as you were talking, man. First of all, I was envisioning you and your wife. Dave, we got similar stories, man. When I was married before, long, 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 long time ago,
Yeah.
and and lost my wedding ring, man, real early in the thing. She swore that I lost it on purpose, but I didn't.
Yeah. That's on the trash
I lost it.
can.
I lost it on purpose later. But yeah, yeah, later. But anyway, man, you say, what can this business do for you? Here's my answer. It allows you to live life on your own terms. That's what it'll do for you as a man, right? And it'll do that for anybody. We already said money is not gender specific, but it'll do that for anybody. But this is men's locker room, and we're talking about men. Man, I don't know about you guys as men, But I never, ever, ever liked anybody telling me what to do. I didn't, right? I'm just being honest, right? And I realized that that didn't work real well in corporate America and in jobs, right? Because people literally tell you what to do. David, I'm that guy. People don't know this, right? Because they're like, oh, he's so humble, he's so nice, da, 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 da. But I'm that guy. I didn't want to be the boss in my house, right? But be somebody else's employee. I
Yeah.
wanted to be the boss inside the house and outside the house. And when I say boss, I don't mean I wanted to tell everybody what to do in the house, but I wanted to be that provider. I wanted to be that king. I didn't want to be a king and a servant outside the house. King inside the house, servant outside the house, right? I didn't want to be that. And so what this business allowed me to do is it allowed me to take my life back and live my life on my own terms, right? Being able to wake up when I finish sleeping. It is nothing that I treasure more than that, other than the people that I get to take care of with the money, right? But being able to wake up when I finish sleeping, not having to ask another man or woman, can I go do? Can I do whatever, right? You guys know my story. I used to drive a bus for a living. And our schedule, it's not like you can work from home. It's not like you can, right? You got to be there. And we worked to 120 hours a week doing that. And if you weren't there, somebody else, if you were late, somebody got your shift, whatever, right? And so I remember what I'm trying to get to is it was not one of those environments where you could just say, hey, I like to have tomorrow off, right? You had to give up a kid to get days off and things of that nature. So when my mom got older, as most parents do, as all people do, and got sick, right? When she was in another state, because of this business, we were able to walk away from that job 20 years early because of the residual income that you're talking about, David, that's available to all of us, that's available to everybody, right? And so that residual income that's coming in because of what we did, though, over the years, that allowed me to pick up another house, another residence in another state because I was going down to see my mom back and forth from DC to North Carolina, DC to North Carolina. And I was spending so much money in hotels. I said, you know what, I might as well get a place. So when I go down there, I'll have a place. I can kind of lay my head there, right, be close to mom or whatever. So I've been able to live in two different states, able to take care of multiple households, her household, my household, plus the household that I was bringing together, right? And so it allowed me to do those things. Plus I have three young men who are just starting out in life in this locker room, right? If y'all got children, you know, y'all don't even have to type in the comments. You already know, right? My kids are older, but Lord have mercy, right? They still need stuff. They still call, Dad, do you have, Dad, can you? And I'm like, listen, you take care of the big stuff, Dad got the little stuff, right? My kid called me I can't tell you how many times they call, that my car broke down in the middle of the night or whatever. I don't have to say because I don't have the money, well, you got to figure that out. You know what I mean? I can't do whatever he has to get done, right? Because of the income and nothing's broken. It allows me to pay for home care for my mom and still have a life and still travel and still do some of these other things. So, man, what can it do for you? It can allow you to live life on your own terms, allow you to be the king in the house and the king outside of the house, right? And that's just, I'm really, really passionate about that. That's what it can do. And allow you to take care of everybody that you love and still live your best life at the same time. David, this checked a lot of boxes for me, right? Because I was struggling as a dad, struggling as a young family, whatever. We had no lifestyle, none. You know what I mean? I didn't even have a passport when we got started. So what this thing allowed me to do, it allowed me to check all of those boxes, man. Start traveling, get some lifestyle, but then on top of that, walk away, be my own boss, and take care of my family. Everything. Live life on your own terms.
Man, when you talked about, just making sure your kids are straight and being able to look after them when they say, Daddy, can I have this? Daddy, I need this. Daddy, the car broke down. I just thought about, me with a baby on the way. One day, someone's gonna ask, thank you, man. Someone's gonna ask, my daughter, someone's gonna ask my son, you know, what's your favorite superhero? And when they say my dad, my dad is my favorite superhero. That's my number one. And again, being able to protect and provide and to give that child the things that they need, I mean, that's powerful. And again, most people don't get to be that superhero for their family from a job. And we're not bashing jobs. We say it all the time. We're not bashing jobs, but we're bashing how the job treats you. You know what you're worth. You know what you need. I always ask the question, the average person here in the UK, let's say London, where I live, a minimum of £4,000, $4,000 a month is what you need in the US. The number might be similar, it might be depending on what state you live. If you're in Atlanta or New York, it might be $4,000 or $5,000 a month minimum you need. Just as mom, dad, two kids just to live a comfortable life. But the average job is given much less. So that means the average person doesn't have enough, and you can't be
Mhm.
that superhero for your family that you would want to be. They may
Mhm.
love what you're doing, but you know you would love to do more for them. And this business honestly gives you that. And we're gonna go on to
Mhm.
the next question now. We're gonna, keep it,
Mhm.
you know, um, how do you lead a man? How do
Mhm.
you lead a man? I'll just quickly, just drop
Yeah.
a nugget on that for me. Firstly, is how you show up, right? And there's different types of men. We've got men, we've got boys, we've got men who are serious, we've got men who are not serious. But you're going to assume every single person you recruit, every man you recruit, we're going to start from the get-go and assume that this person is serious, hungry, focused, disciplined, wants more. I'm just going to assume. Now, I may be wrong, and you may show yourself to be a clown, right? I'm allowed to say that it's locker room. You may show yourself to not be serious. You may show yourself to be a boy. You may show yourself to be someone who's going to join today, quit tomorrow. That's all good. But I'm going to treat everybody as if that man who just signed up has Donald Bradley's blood in him, right? I'm going to treat you as if you're a Donald Bradley, just in case that when we get working and you hit bronze, you hit silver, you hit gold, I'm like, damn, I've just found myself a Jay Stewart. I've just found myself a David DaCosta. I've just found myself a Ricardo Gartner, Toby DaCosta, John DaCosta. Wow. I'm just going to assume because you just don't know. Someone recruited Donald Bradley once and they maybe didn't respect him enough and they lost, a very special person. So, how do I lead a man? How I show up, organization, punctuality, professionalism, being a man of your word or a woman of your word. So we're now talking about how does a man lead a man? How does a woman lead a man? For the men, how you show up. If that man was doing everything you do, would that be a good or a bad thing? For a woman, again, for a woman, it's going to be slightly different. All Jay, you mentioned the queens in this business. They're beautiful. We've got some beautiful people in the business. So again, this is locker room. Ladies, um, ladies, can we talk to the ladies for a second, Jay? Ladies, right? Ladies, when you're prospecting the men, and I've been doing this for 9 years. It's very easy to know if the man's interested in you or the Matrix, right? So the three-way call, right? Third party validation. Get yourself out the way. Let my mentor speak to you, who's got more experience, who understand the business more. And always liken it to this. A lot of men will say to a woman, "Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to speak to Jay. No, I don't need to speak to David. Let me just speak to you." Right? Cool. But if you edify correctly, like you should, third party validation, hey, I want you to speak to Jay. This gentleman has been in the business for many, many years. He's helped multiple thousands of people. He's actually a six-figure income earner. He's helped many other people earn part-time income, full-time income, life-changing income. He's helping me to achieve my goal, which is $4,000 a month, which is going to help me go part-time at my job. That's why I really was excited to connect him with you because I know he can mentor you and lead you to get to whatever your desired goal is. Nah, nah, nah. I don't want to speak to that Jay guy. Let me just speak to you. When can I come round? Right? It's really easy to identify if the man wants you ladies or wants the business. One of the ways is when they say they don't want to speak to, and I always tell my female business partners, when you're mentioning your upline to a man, make sure you say my name, David. That's a man's name. So this man knows that you're about to get on a call with another man. Now, if this man is interested in the woman, he doesn't want to hear from a successful, good-looking brother like myself who makes six figures because I'm going to mess up the party because he may not make six figures. He may not be as good looking as me. He may not have the connecting bed, right? So he may not, he doesn't want another man in the situation. He wants to focus on the woman. He wants to be the alpha to the woman, but now he's got to deal with this good looking freestyle director who's making six figures, talking all this business talk, this high level alpha talk, and it doesn't make him look great. Him being a student, me mentoring him. So he's going to instantly say, when you mention it's a male that he's going to be speaking to on a freeway call, he instantly is going to say, nah, nah, I don't want to speak to him. Let me just speak to you. And that's how you know he's not interested in the business. Because if I wanted to learn how to play basketball and Jay, you are Michael Jordan, right? And I say, no, no, I don't want to speak to, I don't want to speak to, let me just speak to the lady, right, who's not Michael Jordan, clearly I don't care about learning from the best of the best. I have an agenda, right? And I'm distracted. I want something else. So, ladies, how to lead a man is firstly, when they're not serious about the business and more serious about you, cut them off. Cut them off right there and then. And again, say that word. Yeah, no, you're not coming to my house. No, you don't need to speak to me. I've already told you the reason why I want to get you to speak to this guy because he actually has the answers. He actually is the person who can help you if you're serious about this business. Yes, I'm not looking for anything else. I'm looking to connect with men who are serious about providing for their family, who are serious about making money. Is that you, or just let me know? Because if it's you, great. I'll get you on the call with David. I'll get you on the call with Jay, who's a man, right? David is a man. I'll get you on the call with them if you're interested in this business, making this money. If you're not, then we can leave the conversation right there. So leading a man, how you show up. Ladies, you've got to be tough. You've got to be strong. And again, always be working closely with your upline. Find an upline who is a man. Find a sideline partner who's a man, and get advice sometimes. Because sometimes, ladies, sometimes men like to deceive. You got some of the men saying, "Hey, come to my house. Show me the business. I'm really interested now. Come to my house. Yeah, I know it's 4 in the morning, but come to my house. Yeah, I want to learn what's this matrix thing. Teach it to me. 4 in the morning at my house. You've never met them before. Stranger on Facebook. Again, there's a level of the common sense, the level of, again, if you're working closely with an upline like you should be, an upline who's done it all before, he hears that, what? Coming to his house 4 in the morning to learn about the matrix? Yeah, never speak to that person again. That's not your prospect. That's a bad guy. Call the police on that guy. All right. So again, just a few little things I wanted to share, again, how you show up in terms of leading a man. So Jay, I'll pass over to you.
Yeah, man, good stuff, David. I love that point. That's always a big thing, and this is where I feel for our sisters in success, right? Those queens that we talk about, because that is a huge challenge for you guys, right? God bless you with a great smile and a great personality. You got to be really, really, really clear about what it is that you're doing, right? And it's unfortunate and it's a hurdle that it's part of it. It's a challenge. It comes with the business. I'm so glad you addressed that, David. Here's my answers real quick. Forward, fast, clearly, and with little emotion, right? I'm going to say it again. Forward, fast, clearly, and with little emotion, right? Minimal emotion when you're leading the man, right? Forward, meaning, man, like, what we doing? Where we going? We gotta be moving, right? I don't know about you guys, but oh man, I look, I got my ladies in the house. I can't be too loud. But David, like, look, when we're out in the store or things of that nature, man, they in the store, they just kind of, oh, right, like, what we doing? What we getting? Let's go, right? That's forward and fast. That's just, and I know that's most men, right? It's like, no, we're going to the store. It's a trip for them. It's the outing. It's the vacation, right? It's the minimum. No, it's not that for me, right? We're not at Walmart. It ain't that much stuff in Walmart. So anyway, forward, fast. Clearly, David, you talked about, right? It's got to be, man. What is this? It's business. It's what it is when you're leading the man. And the biggest thing for me is with little emotion, right? The emotional piece. And this is locker room, David. This is how I feel. We always say the women are the most emotional and da da da. Y'all know men are super emotional, for real, yeah. Right? Super emotional. Men are like real talk. I'm just saying how I feel it, right? Men more emotional than women. They just bottle it up. You know what I'm saying? But when you open that can, that's not what you want. You know what I mean? So leave that monster in the box. You know what I'm saying? Leave that monster in the box, right? Make it little emotion, right? Don't get into all of that stuff, right? With a man. Here, I want to make this real for you guys. The ladies in my house, we talk about this all the time. They can say little stuff to each other, and it can be like a little quick cat fight, like, right? And then they hugging 5 minutes later. You know what I'm saying? They talking and laying on each other and watch TV. I'm like, whoa. If you said that to me, you know what I'm saying? like it's over. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna box you next week as well.
David, that part I didn't even want to say it, but it's locker room, right? It's like, no, some furniture getting ready to be moving, right? That's how we are. We 0 to 60. So it's like, man, keep the emotion thing where it may be okay with a female that's kind of expected sometimes. It's not a knock. But with guys, right, like keep that monster in the box, little emotion. Let's stick to the business, right? Because when we don't do it as well as women. We don't recover as well as women. We fall out, we even fell out for life. right?
Yeah.
Don't ever talk to me ever again in life,
Yeah.
right? And I'll see you in the street, right? So yeah,
It's on
literally
site.
motion, right?
On site.
Literally motion. So that's my piece. Then back to
Love
you.
it. Love it. Powerful, powerful. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this, man. This definitely has to be done again. Maybe different topics, but this is a great
Yeah.
partnership play. And again, this is sideline relationships. Sideline relationships, and this which brings me on sideline again. For those of you who don't know, sideline means I'm not in Jay's team, Jay's not in my team. Me and Jay don't make a penny, a dollar, a dime, a penny, a pound from each other. Sideline relationships. We're not financially connected. We're in two totally separate legs of business. But again, my brother John DeCosta always says sideline is the best line. Because if we're not financially connected, that means I don't have to do this call. We don't have to work together. If we do decide to work together, it's only gonna be for one thing. See, with your upline, you have to work together. Downline have to work together. Firstly, because that's how you're positioned. You're in the same team. Secondly, financially, it makes sense to work with your upline, downline. So you're almost forced to work together. But if you choose to work with a sideline business partner, it's only because of an exchange of relationship. What I can get and learn from Jay, what Jay can get and learn from me, how I can help pour into his team, how we can help pour into my team. It's an amazing, not even 50-50, 100-100 exchange of value. Because I know you guys are getting 100% of some amazing information right now. That exchange of value is so powerful. I can be here early hours of the morning right now, 1 in the morning, here in the UK. I can be here and we can be pouring it in because there's such a good exchange of value. And which leads me on to the next point, ego over equity. Ego over equity. Let's break it down. Mr. Bradley has a saying which says, feeding your ego, but robbing from your bank account. You know, one of the biggest killers for men, and I'm talking to the men, young men, older men, one of the biggest killers for men is that ego. That ego can be the reason why you're in the club and you don't make it home that night because of your ego. Someone said something, someone stepped on your shoe, someone bumped into you, someone spilt your drink, and your ego was so overinflated for no reason that over a pair of Air Forces, which cost $59, £62, whatever it costs, you may have lost your life, lost a limb, lost a tooth, or got bumped and bruised, or you're spending the night in prison, or whatever. And that's on an extreme level. And again, why having a male mentor role model is important for the younger and the older men, because as we get older, what we need mentoring is it becomes more bigger, more juicy. Now we're talking about, private healthcare. Now we're talking about, are we going to get that yacht? Now we're talking about how many properties are we going to own? Now we're talking about what am I leaving behind in wills for my, Mr. Bradley's talking about buying a house for each of his 4 children. That's adult stuff. That's grown folk stuff. That's man stuff. Buying a different property for each 4 child, that's gangster. That's cool, man. I like that. That's amazing, right? That's why as a man, yes, I'm 38. I want to have a male mentor who's done it. I haven't made a million yet. Well, during my time in Planet, I've probably grossed a million, but I haven't made a millionaire yet. I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm not a documented 7-figure income earner yet. Mr. Bradley's already done that and gone to 8. So I want a mentor to guide me. And my ego says, yes, I think I'm young. Yes, I think I'm cool, but it's okay for me to let an older man who may not know as much on social media as me or be as cool as me in certain things to let an older man mentor me. Now, what if Donald Bradley was 24 years old? Right? Because there's some multimillionaires in our industry. If Donald Bradley was 24 years old and I'm 38, he's my little brother, right? By age. But if he still is earning what he's earning, if he's still a 8-figure income earner, a multimillionaire, a 9-star director, my ego could say, hey, that's just the little kid. I don't care what he's earning. He's a little man to me. That's my little brother. I'm not going to listen to him. I'm older than him. I know more than him. But not stupid because he can buy me and buy my house and buy my family, right? You know, but the ego says, I don't care if he's younger, if he's older, if he's cool, if he's hip, if he's this or that. If he has what I want, he can show me how to get it. Mr. Bradley, when I first met him, he flew from Atlanta, Georgia to London. We met on Skype. And he took it online, offline. He flew to London. And one of the things he mentored me on when I first met him, the pile theory, pile, like a pile of money pile. If my pile is bigger than your pile, you listen to me. If my pile of money is bigger than your pile of money, you listen to me. The pile theory. It's as simple as that. I make more money than you. You want to make the money I make. I know how to make this big amount of money. You do not, because if you did, you would do it. So when it comes to making money, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to this business, you listen to me. And that's what Mr. Bradley taught me. So, when people say, when parents say, oh, if they told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? When they say jump and he says, how high? Yes. When Mr. Bradley says jump, I say, how high? What type of trainers you want me to wear? I'll be jumping all day, right? Because when I first met him, I was flat broke, making less than $1,000 a month. 1 year later, I'm making nearly $10,000 a month, right? Because this is the gentleman that can help me get from A to B. So I need to be humble. One of the pillars Mr. Bradley talks about, humility. I need to be humble. I am broke. Mr. Bradley's rich. I'm poor. Mr. Bradley's a millionaire. I'm going to listen to him. It's that simple. Why am I bringing my broke two-figure ideas to a multi-millionaire? Well, Donald, I think we should do it like this. Well, I've got some suggestions. No, give them to the bailiff who's trying to steal your car. That's where I was at the time. Bailiff was taking my car. Mr. Bradley was flying around the world, in business and first class. He was a millionaire. I was broke. I have nothing to say but to listen, to be coachable, hang on to his coattails, and follow him to financial freedom. But many men, and again, I'm a bit older now, but when I first started this business, I'm 28. And most of the men around me were, 30s, 40s, 50s. So some men followed my leadership, some men didn't. And I know some of it was because of my age. Even though at the time I'm a six-figure income earner, I'm a three-star director. I've got a team of 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 growing. But this older man can't follow my leadership. Doesn't nothing to do with my age. It's to do with what I've done. To do with what I can help you to do. So ego is one of the biggest killers for young men, for older men. So Jay, I'm gonna pass over to you on that. Ego over equity.
David, that's crazy. We're brothers, man, with the same father. Because I got the same thing in my notes. The power theory, man, humble, humility, y'all. That's it. David, you really covered it. And what I want to say to the men, man, with David, what it takes to do that, to have that humility, because we do have ego, we do have bravado, right? We're men, right? So it's like a two-edged sword. We talk about hunter-gatherer, provider, chest is out, right? And so then you got to tell that same guy that's out here, king in the house, king out, you got to tell that same guy to humble yourself,
Yeah.
right? And this is what I wrote in my notes. Humble yourself, trust the coach, run the play, right? Those three things. Humble yourself, trust the coach, run the play. That's the thing. And the thing that I want to touch on really quickly is, in order for us to do that as men, then you're going to have to, and I'm going to say this slowly, you're going to have to make a decision to trust the individual that's leading you, right? David made a decision to trust him, right? Because when you met Mr. Bradley, yeah, you may have known, his past or whatever, but he hadn't made you wealthy yet. You know what I'm saying? It hadn't happened for you yet. So you made a decision, right? You made a decision to trust him. And when I say trust him, y'all, that's really the antidote to get rid of the ego. It's trust and putting some faith in the person that's leading you, right? That's a really, really big deal. That'll allow you to be humble. Because if you don't trust, then what you're going to do is you're going to bark back. You know what I mean? You're gonna let that ego step out. And sometimes it's not even barking back. Sometimes you may not even say anything, but in the back of your mind, it'll keep you from running the play. Does that make sense? You're like, hey, I'm listening. I'm not gonna be disrespectful. I'll never de-edify, but you never did the thing. You know what I mean? And it's because deep down inside, do you trust the individual that's leading you? And that's how a man is going to take that ego and put it in a box. David, I don't know, you probably played sports, right? Coming up, I did as well. When you have a coach, the coach tell you what to do. It's not a conversation. It's not a two-way thing. You know what I mean? And that's why people say, right? It's not right. And for those of you that are sports fans, nowadays you got some divas in sports, so they all that, right? But coming up, right, traditionally, man, the coach say, listen, go, and you're going to go and do. And that's the level of humility That's the level of humble yourself, trust the coach, run the play. That's the mentality you got to have. Now, when you're on the football field, I'm talking about American football game. When you're on American, and I'm sure on the football, soccer is vicious, right? What we call it, right?
Yeah.
Rugby too. Anyway, look, you full man out there, bravado, right? It's mano y mano out
Yeah.
there. But isn't it crazy? Isn't it amazing how this killer can come to the sideline and the coach can say, I need you to do this. Maybe grab you by the face mask, maybe yell at you a bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe even embarrass you a little bit.
Yeah.
But you
And
still,
just on that quickly, the guy who's on the field is
yeah,
probably 600 pounds of raw
yes,
meat
yes,
muscle. And the
yes,
coach is
yes,
probably going to be a dress size 10,
right,
skinny, small,
right,
gray-haired guy with no upper
yes,
body strength. But still, that
yes,
ability, even though I can punch you and kill you with
right,
a punch, I'm gonna let you
yes.
talk to me anyway because you're the coach. That's
Because you're the coach. Because you're the coach. And it all goes back to making a decision, David, and you gave him the recipe. It's the Powell theory, right? It's the Powell theory. Your Powell is bigger than mine. Man, my father used to say, how come here gonna tell Ben here? Right? Unless you get what that means, right? Come here, you just come here, I've been here. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, right, what's going on. I ain't gonna tell you
yeah,
nothing wrong. I ain't gonna tell you nothing that's gonna hurt you.
yeah.
So, man, I love that point, David. Ego for equity. Sometimes we let that bravado come out and we win the battle and we lose the war. So, yeah, I love it.
Win the battle,
Very
the war. Right? Feed your ego. I told him he can't tell me what to do. He broke for a longer time by not
right,
listening to the coach. So yeah,
right,
that's
right.
that's that's powerful. We're coming to a close, guys. We're coming to a close. So one of the last points, and again, this is for you, Jam. I'm gonna let you touch on this. Um, are you him? Him. H, the hero. I, the inspiration. M, the master of your family's destiny. A powerful, powerful topic. I'll
Yeah,
pass it to Jay.
absolutely, David. Yeah, this is deeply personal for me, man. When we came up with the idea, when you came up with the idea of doing this, and you asked me for the topic, I came up with it right then because it was how I feel about being him. I want to be as a man. It's just me. I want to be the hero, right? I've always wanted to be that for my family, for the love of my life, for my sons that are looking at me. When you said that earlier, that I had to get it together. You know what I mean? Because I want them to, man, look at it and say, that's dad, right? I want to be the hero. I want to be, and what is a hero? A hero is a person that's going to save the day, right? A hero is a person that has the strength when nobody else has it, right? You guys all have a definition of a hero, whatever that means for you. But that's what this business will allow you to be. It's the hero. And I had to ask myself, am I that? Right? Because I have the vehicle to become that, David. I really do. I really, really do. I have the vehicle to, man, Mr. Bradley, this is just on my heart to share real quick. And this is really, really personal. I hope it's not too much. But he said that, the life that he's given his wife, right, Mrs. Bradley, is so amazing, taking all the stress away from her that he had to learn her all over again. Like she was a brand, and that, David, you married that, so right? Like it's like all the stress. I see Ruth shaking her head. Y'all felt that? And when I heard that, I was like, I want that. That's what I want. You know what I mean? And like I'm on it, right? Like right now, right? It's man, the person that I'm involved with, I'm like, man, I gotta get her. I want her to feel that, right? I want to be the hero, that type of financial hero. Inspiration. Are you the inspiration? Are you that person that they look to and say, you know what? This is what I need to be. Dave, I say this about my sons, man. I want to leave a legacy, not necessarily for them. I do, but more importantly, I want to leave one in them. You know what I mean? I want to leave it in them. I want them. They don't have that male role model. My dad was amazing. My dad literally came from, I know it sounds cliche, but came from dirt floors to owning property.
Wow.
He took it to a level. You know what I mean? He took it to a level, but he's gone. And my kids, my brothers, whatever, they not necessarily doing extremely well. So my three sons, they don't have that male example in the family who says, you know what, it's another way. You can be your own boss. You can do it. You can go get your dreams. You can go. So are you that inspiration for the people that are following you? Because at the end of the day, if you're head of household, if you're a man, right, and we're men's locker room, this could go for ladies too. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. But if you're leading somebody, man, you want to be that inspiration for them. And the last thing is, are you the master right, of their destiny, of your destiny and their destiny? Am I the master of it? Right? Another going back again to Mr. Bradley, man. Mr. Bradley says, I'm the banker. You know what I mean? When it comes to the household, like my kids can come to me at the end of the day, right? They graduated on the Bradley scholarship or whatever, right? What's that? Bryce just went through law school,
Yeah.
paid for. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Like, really,
Pay for with a
right?
debit card.
Come on. So when I say, are you like I'm the master, I want to be the master of my family's financial future, man. Like I don't want to leave that into any, I don't want to, it's not up to whether or not somebody's going to give you a loan. I'm going to give it to you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
this vehicle will allow you to do it because if it did it for Mr. Bradley, he's actively right now, not on the sidelines. Dave, I know we ain't asked for this, but I got to get it out. He's still doing it right now, actively mentoring, coaching, modeling, saying, this is how you do it.
Mm.
And it's changed over the last 9 years. We've seen the growth. David, you've seen the cars, you've seen the house change, you've
Yeah.
seen the lake house, right?
Yeah.
We've seen the growth. And he didn't kick the ladder down. He's saying, you know what? Come on, you can do it. And going back to the original topic, he's begging the men to be him. Back to you, David.
Begging them to step up, begging them to take what's rightfully theirs, modeling it, showing it. Like, yes, I've seen the cars. I've been in the cars. I mean, yeah, those cars will change your bowels. It will change, the houses. I mean, when I
Yeah,
first saw the lake house, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure about you. We come from humble beginnings. Lake
yeah,
house with the boat and the jet skis, and you
yeah,
in your you in your office looking down at the lake, working there.
yeah,
You go
yeah,
down into your boat, sail across the lake or down the lake into a
yeah,
private, secluded Ritz-Carlton hotel and restaurant with some of the finest food. That
yeah,
Ritz-Carlton is probably not even on Google Maps. It's only
yeah.
for people, the rich millionaires on this
Right.
property. And
Yes.
then you sail
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to your office in your lake house. And this
yeah,
is your lake house far away from the city of Atlanta. And then
yeah,
you get into your McLaren F1 and drive around the windy roads in a 17 billion horsepower car to get back into the city to your other house.
mm,
Your wife is
mm.
living in a mansion, a castle,
With an
and you park
elevator.
your McLaren
Right.
F1 next to
Yeah,
your Rolls
yeah,
Royce Phantom
yeah,
with leather seats. I
man.
mean, he's showing us
Yeah,
that life, and he did that through this business, through not through doing some investment over there or inheritance over there. But no, through the business that we both have, the business that we both have the same website to, the opportunity we both have. And that's why even as a CEO, he's modeling it and saying he's a 9-star director. He's completed a comp plan. And to push himself, he made a 10-star. None of us are close to 10-star yet. None of us are close to 9-star yet. But he wants to show us that I have become a multi-millionaire through the same business I gave you for less than $200, for the same business I gave you for less than £160. I've shown you how to get a McLaren F1. I've shown you how to get a lake house. I've shown you how to buy a house for each of your 4 children. I've shown you how to pay for your daughter to go through law school in the US, which is not cheap for the British people with a debit card. I've shown you how to protect and provide for your families through this $200 business that you have, and you've chosen to quit because you didn't find a cheap flight. Oh, now we're getting into some locker room. I'm looking on my phone today at men who will quit this business because they maybe didn't find a cheap flight. I'm looking for a cheap flight. I need to find a
that's
cheap flight,
serious.
right?
Mm,
People don't want cheap flights. What people want is private jets. That's what they really want. I always use the analogy, if you had to send your
mm,
daughter 15 years old across the state or to another country, from one country to another, and you have two choices. Both of these planes cost the same. They're both going to cost you $500, £500. One is Spirit Airlines or Ryanair, and the other is Delta One first class or Etihad first class, whichever, British Airways first class, but they both cost the same $500 or £500. Which one do you put your daughter in? Of course, everyone's going to say not Spirit Airlines, not Ryanair Airlines. I want to put them in either Etihad first class, British Airways first class, Delta One, right? Because it's better quality. That's what your family would really want when they bring them the little cocktail for free, the menu with a la carte food, and that's what we want. We don't want cheap. We want luxury. We deserve it. We've worked hard enough, being poor for some of us, most of us, right? So if we have an opportunity to live life, the one life we get, that's what we want. But we keep lowballing ourselves. We walk away from this seven-figure business because of $50. This hotel was $50 cheaper over there, so I'm going to quit the business. Think big. Think big. If I say this is not a cheap travel business, this is a business. No company in the world is always cheaper for anything, right? I can get this speaker for $1. $1 for this speaker. There'll be another company somewhere who will have the same speaker for 90 cents. This iPhone, I can get it as cheap as $100. There'll be another outlet somewhere which will have the same iPhone for 50, right? It's just, and some people, and again, sometimes it's our fault as leaders when we present the business. We might say, join this travel business and everything will be much cheaper than the competition. That company's never existed. If any company out there was always cheaper for everything, the whole world would know about those companies. What's the cheapest hamburger in the world? There is none. Hamburgers vary. What's the cheapest trainer in the world? There is none. Trainers vary. What's the cheapest travel website in the world? There is none. Travel prices vary. So again, I have to apologize if any of my business partners are on here from the year 2017, 18, because in the early days, that was my thing. Hey, we get the cheapest deals. We get the best. I had to learn and stop thinking basic and start thinking business, because so many people, don't value this business. And I've seen people, and let me talk about quitting this business. I know someone who quit this business because they were looking for a cheap deal and they didn't even do their training, they didn't even learn their business. They missed out on a booking, they were upset, they quit the business. True story. I think it was maybe 4 months later, roughly. It wasn't a long period of time, it wasn't too short, too long. 4 months later, someone joined their team. And this person is the person who messaged 20 times Rachel Lalji. Boom. Number one income earner. So her team size, it's big. You times it by $4, you times it by £3. You and your family are eating at least 30,000, 40,000, $50,000 or pounds monthly, just if you go gold builder, right? Your life is changed. You're not looking at cheap flights anymore. You're looking at buying an airline. $40,000 a month? Which plane can I buy? Forget the cheap flights. Thinking big, not thinking cheap, not thinking small, not looking for cheap hotels. I'm looking to buy a property that I can rent out as a hotel, a 7-bed apartment in the Bahamas, and I'm going to have clients coming in and out of that Bahamas property. And when I've earned enough revenue and capital from that, I'm going to put down some money on a Dubai flat, cash, because I'm thinking big. I'm not thinking about the cheapest flight and a hotel. Yes, we want, great prices on our travel and all that stuff is a part of the business. Great. But think big. So to close out, Jay, firstly, this has been amazing, man. And
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've enjoyed it more than I could have ever imagined. Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know it would be this good. I mean, we
yeah.
we just made a decision in Atlanta. And to the men, final thing, all of you have got a good male upline because everything leads up to Donald Bradley, who's a man, who's an upline, who's a multimillionaire. If you're a man right now, find and if your upline is a woman, right? That's another topic. If your upline is a woman, we didn't really touch on this because in the early days, I've had some of the best female mentors alongside Donald Bradley. Donald Bradley is my father figure, my one of my best friends, my mentor. But I've got some female sideline business partners like a JP Watkins, like a Natalie Nicole Graham, who a Rachel Lalji, who's in my team, right? And again, humility, she's in my downline. But can I be humble enough to listen to someone who joined after me? Why? Yes, because her ring doesn't look like mine. Hers is much bigger. She got small fingers, but hers is much bigger, much more shiny, much more expensive, much more glittery. It's a double diamond ring, meaning she makes £100,000 a month, £100,000 every 30 days. So whether she's a woman, whether she's tall, whether she's short, whether she's black, whether she's white, whether she's male, whether she's female, I'm gonna listen, I'm gonna learn. Because I want that ring. I want that diamond ring. I want that double diamond ring. I want to be a millionaire. I don't need to be a millionaire. I'll just like to because my family would really like me to be that, right? So if you're a man on this line right now and your upline is a woman, if that woman is a rank that you are not, she's a higher rank than you, she's making more money than you. We're not saying, oh, put her out the way and go and find a man. No, listen to her. She has the money you desire to make. Even if you're a rep or a bronze and she's a gold, now if you pass her, fair enough. Then you reach up again because a silver can't teach a gold, about getting to the next level. That silver's got to do it. That's why when Rachel Lauji became a 4-star director, 5-star, Donald made that call. He didn't have to check with me because he knows my ego's in check. Hey, Donald, don't speak to my downline. That's my downline. No, Donald, she's 4-star. I'm 3. Grab her. And Donald did grab her. And then after 4-star, 5-star, 6-star, millionaire. Donald did that because Donald has already done the millions. I haven't. So humbly speaking, let me shut my 3-star mouth. And Donald, you talk that 9-star talk, right? And that's why she's been able to grow to become a millionaire. Because I'm not going to gatekeep and say, no, don't speak to, no, right? So men, find a good male mentor. If you've got a good female mentor, then be excited and hit that rank. Work with us. If you're on credit hold, this is for you. That's embarrassing. It's $39 a month for the product, $59 total. It's £46 a month. Find the money. Find the money because if your job costs you $50, $50, £50 a week to get to work, which it costs more. I tapped my Oyster card wrong today. Our transport system here in London, $15 out my account in one day, £15 or whatever it is, right? One day. So we pay a lot more than the monthly fee to get to work just to earn a certain amount of income. Make sure you're not on credit hold. Because again, as a man, I'm working with you and you're on credit hold. I can't take you seriously. You don't even have a business that's active right now. Don't let's not talk about big things if you're on credit hold. If you can't maintain that financial commitment to keep your business running. And the only reason why we can say this, Jay, because we've got the most affordable and the best business out there. Every other business, if it's crypto, if it's trading, if it's Forex, if it's this, if it's health and wellness. When I joined this industry, I was doing health and wellness. We had these energy drinks we were selling, and it was about £150, which is call it $200 a month to maintain. I was 20 something. I don't even know how I afforded it. I was broke. But this is one of the most affordable businesses that can make you a millionaire. So if you don't have and I can't teach you about your finances, I'm not going to teach you about arranging your finances. If you need to go and do something to go and get the money to stay active in this business, you need to do that. And I don't need to teach it to you. Like, it's not that hard. Figure it out. Get a good job, do something. But you've got to be able to stay active in the business. Otherwise, we can't have a long-term relationship. I know Mr. Bradley's never talked to you, Jay, about staying active and paying your $59 a month and me paying my £46 a month. That's not our conversation. We're talking about buying properties for our kids. That's the conversation. So you've got to be very serious, very, very focused. And as we close out, I'd love, we're going to maybe get some questions for some of the people. But Jay, for me, this has been amazing. I don't know if you've got any closing comments. Again, just for the men as we close out now. This has been a phenomenal call. We're going to
Man, incredible, my brother. Can't wait to do it again, do anything again. The connection, man, is phenomenal. My closing comment, David, is follow the model, right? For the guys. And we're saying the same thing, so we're cut from the same cloth, right? We're humbling ourselves and learning from the same person. But follow the model. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Mr. Bradley's still doing it, right? So David, you said it, find yourself a male mentor, everybody should have one, right? Everybody on the line, whether you're female, male, doesn't matter. Everybody got a great male mentor. If you want to know what it looks like for a man to do it and do it well, Mr. Bradley, Orlando Moore, Shedrick White, right? Multi-millionaires and millionaire makers. Really, really important. Follow the model. Be your authentic self. I want to share that with the men as well. You guys, we talk about the bravado and things of that nature. It's part of who you are. Your masculinity is the thing. Don't turn it off over here. You know what I mean? Don't let the industry and the culture, don't let it turn your masculinity off. Does that make sense? I know that's for somebody. I don't know who it's for, but
That's
hopefully you,
powerful.
you know what
That's
I mean? Yeah,
powerful.
don't let it, yeah, still be you. When you be your authentic self, the way we talk is the way we talk. And sometimes I see men, David, we start talking a different way, and that's not how we communicate, right? We communicate, we don't use a whole lot of words. You know what I mean? It's straight, right? And so when you're prospecting, when you're doing those things, you don't have to change up. Your vibe is going to track your tribe. Follow the model, but be your authentic self. I love the way Mr. Bradley coaches, the way he speaks. The last thing is unleash that beast within you. You know what I mean? Just really unleash it, man. Just let it go. That competitive spirit, David, that Mr. Bradley talks about. And here's who I would encourage you guys to compete with. Compete with what's possible, not necessarily anybody else, right? You can definitely compete with somebody else at some point, but if you're trying to unleash that beast, compete with what's possible. David, when we hear $100,000 a month, I know you're competing with the pot. That's available,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm going to get. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm going to get. The person that got it, that face can change. Doesn't matter. I'm going to compete with what's possible, what's available. So those will be my closing comments, man. And take advantage of 40/40, right? Lock in. Take this information and take one piece. My thing, David, for whenever I'm going to a training or whatever, if I can take one thing and monetize it,
That's
and
it.
for me, the verbiage you gave, that was my one thing that I'm gonna take. Like I promise you, we get ready to do a call now with the team. We're gonna do an overview, but when we get done, that's where we're gonna. Hey, listen, when you talking to men, say this, right? And we can monetize that. So that's my closing comments, man. I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, we're gonna close out, man. I think everything has been said. In fact, what we're gonna do, we're not gonna do Q&A. We said we're gonna do a part two of this, and I know people have some questions. So please, if you have some questions about what we've covered, Jay and myself today, write them down. Don't forget them because maybe even next week or fairly soon, we're gonna have a part two, some different topics. Again, just talking to the men. And it's been really deep intentional about growing and moving men from A to be, getting to that place where they can really start making bank, making some money for their families, providing, protecting financially through this amazing, affordable, life-changing vehicle, which is Planet Marketing. So keep those questions. And the next part two of this men's locker room, we're going to dive into some questions and get your questions answered as well. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Thank you to the men, especially. We love you. If we hurt your feelings, good. This
Yeah.
all from the heart, all out of love. This wasn't scripted. We didn't plan. We wrote those topics, and me and Jay never spoke about them because that is, Mr. Bradley's mentee. I am Mr. Bradley's.
Yeah.
I know we're cut from the same cloth. I know I can. That's my right hand man. I can trust him. I can rely on him. He can trust and rely on me. That we've been mentored by the right type of man who's led us to feed our families in a much better way. And that's why this call, without being scripted, without being anything, can be so powerful. Two guys, 7 topics, just dropping the fire because, again, when you follow the right leadership, it's from the heart, it's from the head. We truly care about the men in our team. We want them to win. We want them to be better. We want them to be the right type of protecting provider they want to be, and we're not going to stop until we help the right people who want it to get over the line. So thank you guys. God bless and have an amazing rest of your day.